You know, we spend so much of our lives online, just clicking, scrolling, closing tabs. It's all muscle memory. But every once in a while, something stops you. A weird error, a broken link, a message that just feels wrong, something completely out of place. And sometimes those little interruptions, they're more than just a glitch. They can feel like a strange, unsettling echo in the machine.
So picture this. You're just browsing the web, maybe reading the news, clicking from one story to another. You follow a link, and instead of the page you were expecting, this pops up. Just a simple, plain text notice. It's meant to be invisible, right? Just a piece of digital plumbing. But this one is different.
I'm just going to read this out loud, exactly as it appears. The previous page is sending you to, and then there's the link. It's an Al Jazeera article, dated February 11th, 2026, and the headline is, Canadian police say 10 dead in British Columbia school shooting, and it just sits there on your screen.
To even begin to process something like this, you have to look closer at the only real clue you have, this single line of code, this link.
Okay, let's just try to break this down piece by piece, because when you do, a story starts to form, or maybe the shadow of one.
So first, look at the source, Al Jazeera. This isn't some random blog or a fake news site. This is a massive, global, and credible news organization. And that fact alone gives this whole thing a disturbing weight. It grounds this bizarre message in our reality. And then you see the date, February 11th, 2026. Now, for context, let's say today, the day you're seeing this, is February 10th. So that makes this link a news story from tomorrow.
And this is what the story is about. Canadian police say 10 dead in British Columbia school shooting. You see, when you put it all together, the credible source, the date from the future, and this awful, awful event, a real deep chill just sets in.
So now we have to actually confront what we're looking at. This isn't just some broken link. It feels like a glimpse of something that hasn't happened. At least, not yet.
So what does it mean? I mean, how can a thing like this even exist? You're just staring at this impossible piece of information, a headline for a tragedy that hasn't taken place, an article that, by all logic, simply shouldn't be.
And here's where your mind starts to race, right? On one hand, your logical brain tries to explain it all away. It's gotta be a system glitch. Maybe a journalist was just drafting a hypothetical scenario for training, or maybe it's just a simple typo in the date. Your brain is desperately searching for that rational anchor. But then, there's your gut. And that feels something totally different. That quiet, deeply unsettling feeling of a digital premonition. You know, a ghost in the machine. A message that somehow slipped through a crack in time.
And that feeling, that's what forces you to look beyond the code, to look past all the technical explanations, and to focus on what this URL is really about, the human cost, the human story that's encrypted in that single line of text.
And that, to me, is the most chilling part of all. This is a story with no people in it yet. There are no names, no faces, no grieving families. It's just an abstract summary of what could be an immense tragedy. A headline without an article, a date without an event. It's the coldest, most sterile container for what would be an unspeakable human loss.
And at the bottom of that original notice, there's that simple, standard instruction: you can return to the previous page. But in that moment, reading that link, it stops being a technical command, doesn't it? It becomes a wish, a desperate human desire to just go back. To go back to the moment right before you saw this, to unknow this thing that is and yet somehow is not, to just return to the previous page.
And it just leaves you wondering. This one was caught by accident. It was just a stray redirect. But it makes you think, how many other stories are out there, half-formed in server drafts, or embedded as what-ifs in training modules, or just lost as lines of code? What other ghosts of what could be or what might be are living quietly in the architecture of our digital world? Just waiting to be seen.